Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So before we get started, I want to say, sorry I haven't uploaded in quite a while. I've just been really busy with school and other things. But anyway, this should be a somewhat short video. Basically, I'm going to talk about what all happened when the 40-gallon cracked. So basically, at this point, it's probably, like 2 months ago or something like that. I had decided to replace the foam that I had underneath the tank. This is now a towel and some boards. I'll explain about that in a few minutes. But I decided to replace the foam that was underneath the tank because it was, the way it was, the tank was leaning forward just a tiny bit. Like it wasn't like dangerous for the tank or anything like that. I just didn't like it. So anyway, we drained the tank down a whole lot, got most of the fish out into other tanks for temporarily, and basically we just took the foam away and we ended up putting just some plain old boards underneath. Not these boards, different boards. But anyway, it turns out that they weren't quite even enough, and the next morning so that night, or no, sorry, I'm getting my times and things messed up. Anyway, yeah, so that the next morning, I filled it up from around here to closer to around there, and then literally like 30 seconds after that, I just heard a pop, or some kind of loud noise, and I was just like, no. And on the other side of the tank here, I'll try to do this without showing any of the other new fish that are in quarantine. You'll see those in a different video. Right here, there was water that started to just pour out. Not like crazy fast, but it was still decently fast. And I was just like, no. So anyway, thankfully we were able to get out all the fish and everything in time. They're now pretty much all back in here. I will say I now only have one of the two archer fish that were in here still in here. The other, so you can see that one there. If it'll turn, you might be able to see it better. But anyway, the other one, it's still doing perfectly fine, but it had started eating some of the really small fish that I had in here. So I moved him outside into one of my bigger tanks. So yeah. But anyway, I got literally everything out of the tank. All the sand, all the plants, all the rocks, everything. And that's kind of the way it sat for a few days or so. And basically it, so if you look at the top of the tank, it was the bottom panel of glass that cracked, and it cracked from, pretend this is like the tank. It cracked like that. So it was a pretty big crack, but anyway, it pretty much just sat that way for a few days or so. And eventually we really cleaned it up and everything, and I ended up taking all of the old silicone off because old silicone and new silicone do not stick well together. And we ended up putting a new piece of glass in the bottom. So there's the original piece of glass here, and then there's silicone, so you can't really see it, but there's a new piece of glass right behind that silicone. And yeah, so far it's been just fine. Basically, the way we did it, we put silicone along the crack in the tank, and we just put blobs of silicone here and there between the old pane of glass and the new pane of glass, and we didn't seal anything else for a few days, just to make sure that the silicone under there had a bit of a chance to dry or cure somewhat. And then a few days later, then we went around all the edges and everything and resealed it. Then we let it sit for about a week or so, filled it up, did a water test. It held water and everything fine. So yeah, and after that, I let it sit overnight just to be absolutely sure that it held water and it was fine. So anyway, after that, I drained the tank, got rid of all that water, and filled it up with a whole bunch of new water. Yeah. So anyway, that's the story of how the 40-gallon broke. Yeah, hopefully I won't have to deal with anything like that again. Or if so, hopefully it'll be a long time. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and check out some of my other videos. If you enjoy my channel, then click subscribe. But yeah, I'll see you next time.